Amy, thank you very much for stopping by. You're our first guest, so how's everything going?
It's going well. Thanks for having me.
Hi,
What?
Amy. It's good to see you.
Hey, how are you? You too. Right now, I
Rekindling.
think I'd rather be in your chair than my chair,
Well,
Maureen. But
we were actually right before you came on. We were just talking about that. I said this time of year, it's like, oh, thank goodness when you start to have scrimmages or exhibition games, because if you go any longer in practice, you really start to nitpick everything, and you're like, oh, I don't think we're going to be very good this year. Or even the years where you return, everybody, it's like, oh, I don't know. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a little
yeah.
different.
Amy, how is your group embracing coming off a championship, your first since 2019, just getting set for a title defense year?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of been a whirlwind, to be quite honest with you. We've lost two really good players to season-ending injuries, which it is what it is. It's part of the game, but it definitely changes how we're approaching things, and especially losing a player like Addie. It's not just. I mean, I've talked a lot about this, but it's not just her points or her rebounds, or I mean, it's really we ran everything through her. So she touched the ball every possession. So really trying to just reconfigure what we're doing and how we're doing it. Last year was great, but that's way in the past, and we've enjoyed our time with that. But we're really focused on getting better every day. And fortunately, we have a pretty experienced group coming back, and so that definitely helps with what we're kind of facing right now.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, but you've always seemed, right before you came on, I was just saying, you've always seemed to, you had some really tough season-ending injuries, with Ann, and somebody always steps
Mhm.
up. And I think just with how positive you are, and obviously you've coached long enough to know it isn't just one player. But I'm sorry, it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
for everyone, because especially when you get to this
Yeah.
point, you get through the summer, you get through everything, and it takes, I'm sure it does take a while just to kind of process that. Even as a head coach, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely. I don't want to sound dramatic by any means, but there
Yeah.
is a grieving part of that. When she found out and when our team found out, it took time to kind of process it. And but we've done that. We're past it. Like you said, I guess unfortunately, we've been through this before. We lost Blanca Milan to a season-ending knee injury 4 or 5 years ago. We lost Ann Simon a couple years ago. So it's something that unfortunately we've had experience with, and like I said, I think the difference now is that our team is much more experienced. We have 6 seniors on our team, a lot of who have played a lot of minutes, and some younger kids who have played minutes too. So I think we're in a better spot than we have been in before, and we're really just excited to get going and to challenge ourselves.
Yeah, Olivia Rockwood, Caroline Bornman, Sarah Talon. Those are some players that are coming back, right? That are expected to have big roles. How do you see those three and your other seniors ascending with some players out to spin this into a positive? What are they made of to make up for that misproduction?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the cupboard is bare by any means. We're not going to sugarcoat it and say it doesn't hurt, but the reality is no one's going to feel bad for us, and we have really good players on our team. So, like you said, Olivia Rockwood and Caroline Borman have come back using their COVID year for their 5th year, and that's really exciting. I mean, they're a great lead, and they know how we operate on and off the court. And so that's awesome. Sarah Hodgson is another senior, Paula Gallego. Paula's come in the best she's been since she's been here. And so that's really exciting. And, she can play a lot of different positions that helps us. And you mentioned Sarah Talon. She's a kid I think I'm hoping takes a really big step forward this year on both ends of the ball, on both sides of the ball. We talked today about, look, Sarah, you have the talent, you have the ability to be the defensive player of the year in the conference. Whether you do it or not is a whole another situation. But you could, she's long, she's athletic, she's quick, she's smart. And then we have, Esta Blumenfeld from a transfer from Denmark, who was at Seattle University. We've been in dire need of a point guard the last couple of years, and she she really fills that need really well for us. So yeah, we're excited. And, Sarah Hodgson, I think I said her, but yeah, just a lot of different kids who honestly are fighting for time now. I told them we've lost about 75 minutes out of 200 since last year. And so there's a lot of minutes to be had, and who's going to compete and earn those minutes.
Yeah, just kind of changing gears a little bit. A positive, I think, is, it's always amazing to me in our business when you're able to kind of retain assistant coaches as long as you have. And I think that, obviously you're a tremendous coach, 5-time coach of the year. I know firsthand how how hard it is to prepare to play your teams. But just having your assistant coaches with Courtney, and Tom being with you for as long as they've been with you, I think that just speaks volumes about, working for you, obviously, and how that's hard. It's hard to keep people on your staff that long. But I just kind of touch upon that. I think just being an alum and now actually having another alum on your staff. So not only you, Courtney, but now with Tanisha Sutton on staff, which I was thrilled to see. She was one of the toughest players that I think I've ever coached against when I was at UNH. So just kind of talk about that and the importance that you feel for your overall success with the program.
Yeah, it's critical. And I'm so glad you asked that, Maureen, because we don't do what we do without our staff. And I've been so fortunate, Tom and Courtney and Matt Payton, who's our sports performance coach, who's on our staff pretty much. Those three have been with me since day one, and so for us to be together, I think we're going on year 8. Doesn't happen a lot, and look, it's not like we get paid, our assistant coaches get paid what other assistant coaches get paid. It's not, they could go somewhere else and get paid a lot more money, but they love it here. They love our program. They love our kids. They're all Tanisha, Tom and Court are alums of Maine. They're from Maine, and that means a lot too, and then I always joke. I say Matt Payton's a Mainer now. He married a Mainer, so he has no choice. He's a Mainer now. And then of course Tanisha, like you said, she was one of my favorite players to coach, and to have her back on staff is just amazing. I trust them with everything. If I'm not there, I know the operation is going to continue to run because of who they are and what they do. And yes, you mentioned the coaches of the year. That's nothing. That's the whole staff. We've done it together every step of the way, and so I can't say enough. I could go on and on and on about them, but I won't. But yeah, they're special people and fantastic coaches for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, 1,000%, no matter what level, right? Continuity in a staff is hard to do at any level, any league, any women, men, it doesn't matter. That's impressive. Amy Vachon, the head coach in her 9th year at Maine, joining us here at America East Women's Basketball Media Day. You get another crack at Indiana this year on your schedule in non-conference play. You hosted them in Portland last winter. Now you get a chance to go to Bloomington December 1st. Excitement behind that after having some momentum carry over from that meeting last year.
Yeah, we're thrilled. I mean, that game in Portland was so fun. We had it. We were so close and really ran out of gas, and Indiana made some shots, and they made big plays and they won it. But what a tremendous game that was for the state of Maine and the university and just our girl. It was so one of the funnest games I've been. Funnest probably isn't a word, but one of the greatest games I've been involved with as a coach. It was fantastic. And we're excited to go to Bloomington. I've honestly never been to the Indiana University, so I'm excited about that. But we have a challenge ahead of us. We play them, and then we're going to continue that road trip with Purdue. So, 2 Big Ten teams right there will come at us. And look, we like to try and play whoever we can, try and get a really tough schedule to prepare us for conference because we know our conference is going to be really good, as it always is. But I think this year, that the parity in the league is probably at the highest it's been in a long time. So really wanting to prepare as best we can for that. And those 2 games will really, help us with that.
I think just we were talking about the state of women's basketball right now and just how the excitement with last night's WNBA final game. And, I go back years and years going up to Maine and playing at Maine. And I've always said that about you. UMaine has always been ahead of ahead of their time as far as, their love for women's basketball and how hard it is to play there. And obviously being an alum and experiencing that not only as a player, but as a coach, what do you think makes Maine so special? Why do you think people in the state of Maine love women's basketball so much?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's part of its tradition. I mean, we've been good for a long time, way before I was around. Back in the '80s. Before that, we had Trish Roberts was the coach, Peter Gavitt was the coach, Coach Palumbo was here, Coach Versup. I mean, we've been good for a really long time, and so that helps. But I think Mainers and Maine people really appreciate a good product, and they see a good product. They see great basketball. I think they appreciate really hard work. And I think that's something our team always does, is really work hard. And they just love it. And that's what we tell our kids when we're recruiting them, when they get here. You're right. There aren't a lot of places like Maine. I mean, we can travel to a lot of schools and there might be 30, 50, maybe 100 people in the crowd, and I always said when I was getting recruited, I was like, I work too hard to play in front of 100 people, right? like I work too hard. I want people to watch me. I want to be in front of people. And so we're just really fortunate, and it's fun, like our games in the pit. It's a great atmosphere, and I think people really enjoy it, and we're just really fortunate.
It's great.
All right. Amy Vachon, thanks so much. Excited for another year. The Black Bears look to continue their championship aspirations, try to defend their title, and some new faces that you might not have expected in the summer coming in that could surprise and make some noise this year. So, Amy, thanks so much for stopping by, and best of luck.